Is Starfield the jankiest game ever made? My grocer Seamus P thinks so. Find out why he's a big dumb idiot in our review of Bethesda's space-tacular new game. I'm Garrhy Boldpenis, and this is Two Hams in a Sock. Yesterday evening, my wife had a violent hankering for a large lettuce, so I walked over to Hammond & Hammond's, which is renowned for the size and girth of their produce. As I ran my green head through the checkout line, a grocer by the name of Seamus P. turned and asked, "Did you find everything you were looking for today?" "Yes," I said. "That's good," he said. And that, dear viewer, was the beginning of one of the greatest conversations of my life. "Any plans for the weekend?" he continued. "Yes," I replied, ever more delighted. "I am playing Starfield, the new space-tacular game from Bethesda." It turned out that old Seamus had already logged some hours in that game, and he did not find it space-tacular at all. Lucky for me, I always carry around a pair of hand-tailored debating pens from my time on the Worcestershire Community College debate team. So I was well prepared for a fight. Bethesda is a company that doesn't have a lot of ideas, so when they finally get one, you know it's gonna be good. Starfield is their first new IP in over 25 years, and when the bun has been in the oven for that long, it's bound to be sweet as a peach. So let's bite in and let the juice dribble down our cheeks. Let's start with the plot. The plot to Starfield is very good. It's about running around old buildings searching for valuable-looking trash. You can tell that it's valuable because when you touch it, you hear a little tune. And when you put the trashes together, they float. It's very future. Sometimes you try to sell your non-floating trash to a man who is trying to fly through the ceiling, but other times you just release it back into its natural habitat, space. Then you can start finding more trash, and the cycle of life continues. Now let's talk about the characters. Sometimes you find another spaceman and you're friends, but also, sometimes you are enemies. The villains in this game are called spacers, so you can tell they're evil right from the name. They love to rob and thieve, which are two of the worst things a spaceman can do. It's a good thing my space boy wears a double XL pair of trousers to hide his enormous gun collection and his godlike hog. Seamus said he could not enjoy the game's thrilling combat because whenever he would walk toward a spacer, it would begin to hoop frame after frame out of its shitty ass until the hull was bloody. Which is a very graphic phrase that I did not want to repeat on video. But such is the way of the Irish mouth. And such is my commitment to honest journalism. Please like and subscribe or I will not release another video. Seamus continued whining about how he couldn't play the game, so I said, just get a 4090. Even my Gam has one. Perhaps if he bagged my lettuce a bit faster, he could graduate from his meager groceryman's pay to the salary necessary to upgrade his machine, to something Todd Howard would smile upon. He replied that he is the head manager and I thanked him for his service. Even the pros get owned sometimes. As the store closed, we both said our farewells. But when I exited, I found Seamus beside me. "Good night," I said, clutching my lettuce tightly. "Farewell," he replied, and we both reached out our hands to the very same 2017 Chevy Malibu. Wouldn't you know it, we were oobing together. As an apology for my classist remark, I offered to take a look at Seamus's PC to see if I can make it run Bethesda's space-tacular masterpiece better. "It's okay," I told him. "I used to work for Computer Squad." "Oh," he said. "I love those guys." End quote. And that's how I found myself in the bedroom of one Seamus P. Fingers twitching as I downloaded RAM after RAM directly into his mainframe. "Why are you doing that?" he asked. "Because of this," I said. And with that, we launched the game into the most glorious combat experience of his life. Not only was the game serving up its trademark low-gravity gunplay, or as I like to call it, fun play, it was offering him a combat experience even better than mine. Nearly every action was delivered in dramatic slow motion. so he could savor every blast of his spaceman's rifle. Seamus said it was running like a buck's asshole after a fierce shotgun fucking. I apologize again. He has a fierce case of the Irishman's mouth. I told him that this was all Todd's intention. With slower gameplay, it's like there's even more game. You can really take the time to think about every man and where you want to shoot him. When a spacewoman talks to you from inside a wall, it really makes you think. The rules really are different in space. One thing we could agree on was the music. The music is very good, because it was all taken directly from Fallout 4. It uses a very big and expensive orchestra to create a sound that is almost exactly like wallpaper. Which is quite an achievement for a composer. But it's not all walls and papers. Despite the game taking place in outer space, there is nary a theremin to be heard. Nor sequential circuits Prophet 5 synthesizer. Even Cyberpunk 2077 had a synthesizer, and that game took place on none other than good old terra firma, which is a spaceman's way of saying Earth. When it comes to sound, the game is exactly like real life. Sometimes I am talking to a man, and sometimes another man is talking, but much louder than the man that I want to hear. But sometimes the other men talk loud enough and long enough that I simply forget about the first man, and I wander off to gather more trash. At night, I get on Reddit to share my favorite Bethesda quotes, like, "Oh, you came to see me," and "Missed the sound of my voice, huh?" and "When you get a moment, can we have a talk?" My posts get a lot of upvotes, so you can tell the writing really hits home. After telling all this to Seamus, he hit me with another timeless Irish saying. "Thanks for oobing to my house with me, Garrhy. You taught me to look at Bethesda's spectacular masterpiece in a whole new way. You may not have fixed my computer, but you did fix my heart. And in the end, that's what really matters." He gives this game a 10 out of 10. If you'd like to see the graphic he made with a 10 on it, please email me at my address. And if you're wondering what happened to the lettuce, well, let's just say when my wife saw it, yours truly had a pretty boppin' night. Haters will argue that this game is flawed, but I say, it's all part of Todd's plan. It's Bethesda. What did you expect? Here is a drawing of a quote I thought of, which a man could say in an upcoming DLC. And now a word from our sponsor. Please, drink the water. It needs to be drank, or the oceans will grow too large. Join me next time.